Do you know what you're going to do with these tech companies? Do you know where where does Ted Cruz stand? Because you're a free enterprise guy.
Sure.
Google wants to be the best, and they do have a huge stake in our economy. Where do you stand?
It is a great question, and I will readily concede the solution is complicated. Nobody wants to see a federal speech police deciding what is and isn't permissible. What we do, however, have is three possible remedies. Number one, there's a special provision of law, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, that gives Google and Facebook and Twitter and the big tech media companies a special immunity from liability that nobody else enjoys. And Congress passed that under the assumption they would be neutral public fora. In other words, they weren't going to be biased. They weren't going to favor one view over another. They would let all comers come to their site. They've decided not to do that. They've decided to be hardcore leftists, to silence, to throttle, to shadow ban conservatives. And I think if they continue to do that, there's no reason they should get a special immunity from liability that nobody else does. Number two is the antitrust laws. Listen, by any measure, Google is larger, it is more powerful, it has a larger market cap than AT&T was when it was broken up by the antitrust laws. It's larger and more powerful than Standard Oil was when it was broken up by the antitrust laws. Google is a monopoly, and Google is abusing its monopoly powers. We have antitrust laws to deal with that. And third, the Department of Justice can and should be investigating along the lines of fraud and or breach of contract, which is, look, when you sign up, say, with a Facebook or Twitter, you assume that if you follow someone, you'll see their tweets, you'll see their posts. Likewise, you assume if someone follows you, they'll see what you tweet and what you post. That's not, in fact, what's happening. What's happening is the social media sites are censoring, they're shadow banning. If they don't like what you're saying, they just hide what you're saying. That is essentially a fraud on the consumer, and they're deceiving the consumer because they've got a political agenda. Any of those three remedies needs to be considered, and I think the scope of this problem needs to be fully understood.
The big tech companies know those are things that could happen to them, so it'll be interesting to see what they tell your subcommittee. Sir, thank you very much. Good luck today.
Thanks, Senator.
Always a pleasure.